Snakes. My name is Dante, and today it's Podcast Tuesday once again. And this is a different podcast. I'm actually gonna. This is my first podcast, like in the Magic the Gathering storyline. So basically, um, I'm actually gonna switch up the podcast a little and make them like related to the storyline. So we're gonna start off by basically explaining, a bit how the cosmology and other stuff work in the multiverse in Magic the Gathering. Now we're only going to use the canon, what's considered canon, in the multiverse because there are so many different interpretations and non-canons. For example, the IDW comics and some other books as well that were that are not considered canon but still do talk about a story in the multiverse. So we are just going to use the the canon part of the Magic the Gathering cosmology. Of course, we still have the combo and the non-bow. So the non-bow is more like a loop, an unstoppable loop. But it's yeah. We have but we still got the combo. Like this new Lord of the Rings card spawned so many infinite combos. Like bro, how you even? All right, let's go to the combo. And it is. All right, we got Cauldron Familiar, Samwise Gamgee, and Viserys here, which basically is a stack. You got Infinite Scry, so you can literally manipulate the top of your deck to whatever you literally want it to be, because you can just dig through the whole deck. Infinite Life Drain, and Infinite ETBs. It's just a really cool combo. And yeah. Oh wait, I just realized this is the reversed promo. So there, I literally just unreversed it, so you guys can read the card. It's literally just a sack outlet. You just need any sack outlet, and it will work. So yeah, it's a really cool card, in my opinion. So it's just this is cool combo. Samwise spawned so many combos and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically the combo. Now it's time for the non-bow, and it is. Alright, we got Reign of Gore and Transcendence. So the thing is, with this non-bow, is about Transcendence stops you from losing the game by being at 0. When you hit 20, you lose the game. So it reverses, the life system. Because when you lose life, you gain 2 life for each 1 life you lost. Now, Reign of Gore, what it does, if a spell ready will cause its controller to gain life, that player loses that much instead. So if you just, it's just gonna implode on itself. So you do Transcendence plus Reign of Gore. Let's say you lose 1 life. Well, then you lose 2 life, which then means that you lose 4 life and 8 life. You're gonna exponentially lose infinite life. So it's gonna literally crash the game, and you cannot stop it. It's an infinite loop, so it's gonna break the game. And usually you'll end in a draw, but chances are your opponents in the playgroup will just make it so you lose instead and not shut down the game instead. Like because you're literally at negative infinity life or something. So yeah, that's just a non-bow for the week. Now we're just gonna run an ad break, and then we start to the introduction to our Magic the Gathering podcast. And it is. We're back, and this is an introduction to our cosmology. So the cosmology tells about components and evolution of reality, which is the setting for the Magic the Gathering game. And there are several levels of it, like beginning with the most fundamental one. They look at the following. So, for example, we have the time stream, and which is the parent level in the cosmology for the verse. Now, each each timeline has its own multiverse. So Magic the Gathering has infinite timelines, making there infinite multiverses per timeline. But that's not infinite multiverse. That's infinite of the Magic the Gathering multiverse. So yeah, it's like then we have so yeah, we have the multiverse. For example, Dominia, which basically the multiverse is basically all the planes and the blind eternities that's just all connected together to make the Magic the Gathering multiverse. So within the multiverse we have blind eternities and planes, which planes then have natural planes and artificial planes. So basically, a single plane could have a naturally built plane, literally a multiverse in itself, with an artificial plane being a smaller multiverse, which basically are the ones that are created by planeswalkers, with the natural ones just being built by uh by just natural. Now, so yeah, that's basically the main cosmology summarized. Now we're going to start off with what else is part of the cosmology. We have Kaldheim. In Kaldheim, there is the World Tree. The World Tree being part of Kaldheim's cosmos. The cosmos, it is basically the origin of all life on Kaldheim, and basically it unifies the 10 realms. Basically, the World Tree being the Magic the Gathering equivalent to Yggdrasil from Norse mythology. Now, the cosmos has its own magical creatures that reside in it, and they resemble certain animals such as wolves or eagles, but they're actually different sizes with mystical abilities and supernatural knowledge, and they are incredibly old. So they're said to be the first fruits of the world tree, basically the first creations from the entirety of the Kaldheim creation, and basically protect the world tree and keeping the plane in check. So yeah. Now there are literally different there are different types. Like for example, we have like we have like coma, which is like the like the largest creature in the cosmos. So uh and and it's basically but then we also have the smallest ones, which is Toski, which is literally just a squirrel. Uh so like Coma is basically the the Magic the Gathering version of Jormungandr, basically the world serpent. And yeah, but it's also associated with just some uh a dragon or serpent. What I don't know, some mythological creature that basically eats at the bottom of the so the world tree. And yeah, just it's just also Toski's inspired by Ratatoskr. Uh, so yeah, basically a lot of the things, like in Kaldheim, Pharaohs, Amonkhet, they're just inspired by Norse mythology, Greek mythology, and Egyptian mythology, respectively. And so yeah, that's basically uh Kaldheim cosmology for now. Now let's go to uh uh let's go to what's it called? Oh yeah, Pharaohs. And we have so Pharaohs has like it's different. So basically we have Nits, which basically has uh its dreams and subconscious. And but basically uh so basically it's where the gods live. And and basically it's closely tied to the plains deities, that whenever they manifest where they should be shadowed, they instead display the glorious starlight of the night sky. And basically, dreams are interpreted as visions, gifts from the gods themselves. And same with the enchantments, due to how connected they are uh, with Nits. Where mortals sleep, basically, the dream world is Nits. So Nits is basically a dream world. And also the constellations, the different stars are forming like their own tales of the gods. And also not just gods, there are also nymphs, archons, and celestial elks and stuff. Like similar to what we have in the cosmic animals in Kaldheim. You can see something similar in the Pharaohs in Nits. And they are basically everything there is just enchantments, which is why the Pharaoh's gods are enchantment gods, whilst the Amonkhet gods and Kaldheim gods aren't enchantments. And creatures that are born in Nits are referred to as Nitsborn, which is basically why we have the Nitsborn cycle. There's like 5 of those in the like. There's a cycle of 5 commons that everyone was just. I swear, why didn't they just get a showcase version? Because we had showcase demigods and showcase gods, but they didn't make showcase nits boards. Like what the hell? Yeah. Anyways, then they used the showcase frame for other cards in Martial Machine, and that was really cool. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, they've been increasing, because eventually, because the boundaries are just decreasing. Now, the thing is, since it's like a celestial realm, like a different one inside of Pharaohs, you just cannot planeswalk to it directly. Same with the underworld. The underworld being uh basically being divided by the Tartitz River. That basically is dividing the mortal realm with the underworld. So basically, we have like the nits that are like up above the mortal world, and then there's like an underworld, which is like a lower realm below like the realm of the living. And but it's not actually. But since it's not. But since it's dark, it's not actually connected to nits because it doesn't have night nor day. So yeah, it's just it's just flat or something. So yeah, and it's governed by Erebos, and which was just cast there by Heliod after being born, which is why he basically rules the underworld. And of course, he creates monsters to guard them. So uh we have like the Philaskia stuff, and and we also and there's also there's like skeletons. Yes, skeletons are guarding it, and Kunoros, which is basically the the Magic the Gathering version of Cerberus, and uh, and of course souls in the underworld would they just get twisted, become evil whilst they're becoming like or hateful whilst they're in the afterlife, and of course like the 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 ones who are like already evil from the start, like once they're like too evil, they turn into monsters, and but then of course there's some that just lose their memories and they just become lifeless statues, and they're called Mizra. And so yeah, also the Titans were sealed in the underworld after the gods waged war and won against the Titans. Like similar to in Greek mythology. So yeah. So basically, in Pharaohs, it's just it's just like with Greek and Roman mythology and stuff, but the difference between like Pharaohs mythology and Greek slash Roman myth is that the Zeus or Jupiter is like the god of the sky and king of the gods. Well, the king of the gods is actually Heliod, the god of the sun in Pharaohs. So the it has like the same gods, but like it but the roles are different. So like there's like Keranos, but who's the god of lightning, but he's not the king of the gods. That's the different thing. In Pharaohs. Like compared to Greek mythology, because Kaldheim and Norse mythology are similar, but Pharaohs and Greek mythology slash Roman mythology, is like slightly different. Now we're going to explore the Dominaria next. So before the mending, it was the Dominaria Nexus was basically 12 planes, a system of 12 planes that just connected all of the planes together. So basically after this Brothers War, the silent splash that ended the war, the amount of energy released from this explosion created the shard of the 12 world, and it just basically it it's just like each shard would have like its own plane, and like it was just crystallized, inside this closed system, and 11 planes, including Zoria and the Nevervoid, were just orbiting. So basically, there were planes literally orbiting Dominaria, which is another plane in Magic the Gathering. Uh, so yeah, so it's basically, and it's just, but the Dominaria Nexus is just one of many nexuses, uh, in the multiverse, because like we're like, because they're like, because there are some planes, like, because the planes, they're not like like uh just spread apart, like there are some planes that are literally just orbiting other planes, kind of like how the Earth orbits around the sun in the solar system. I mean, well, planets orbit around the sun in the solar system, the or how the moons orbit Jupiter. Because I mean, I decided to give an example of like for a planet with more moons, because Earth only has one moon. So yeah, but basically, but yeah, just this like the Dominaria nets is, then there's the mending. The mending just changed things. So like so pre-mending there's like the nets and stuff, and post-mending is just a mending era was just changed things. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Now we're going to reach the proof of why how we have infinite timelines. So that's the fate basically explained. This card explains how Sarkhan time time travels to try and save Ugin and dragons in Tarkir. Because Khans of Tarkir is basically like post like apocalyptic Tarkir. I don't know if I'd say post apocalyptic or not. I don't know, because there's basically it explains of the extinction of all the dragons on Tarkir. Like the only like, so yeah, Fate Reforged is basically before, like Khans of Tarkir, in an alternate timeline where the dragons actually don't go extinct. They actually do it. They don't go extinct on Tarkir, which is why we have Dragons of Tarkir. The Dragons of Tarkir basically reshaped the whole, all of the clans. Like all the Mardu and Jeskai and stuff like that. It's remade into Ojutai and Kolagan and stuff, and and yeah, and then in that timeline is when Narset becomes a planeswalker. So yeah, because in the other timeline, Narset actually doesn't ignite her spark, and she's just a kind of Mardu without like actually uh being a planeswalker. But in when Dragons of Tarkir, she actually ignites her spark and is part of the Ojutai clan. Like because the the clans are named after the dragons, the elder dragons of Tarkir. And it's also, same with also same with Strixhaven. The elder dragons in Strixhaven, they are basically the houses are named after them, so yeah. And so yeah, it's also planar chaos. There's actually a novel as well of planar chaos where basically uh the timelines are just they're just ripping apart, just basically the what divides, one timeline with another is it's just breaking, so it's so timelines are merging up, in uh so it's just yeah, it's just breaking everything. And and then like and then Teferi just loses his spark, in the planar chaos novel. So yeah, he just and so yeah, it's just it just in planar chaos, the timeline, the it so basically Fate Reforged, old, the Tarkir block and the planar chaos novels just confirmed there are infinite timelines in the Magic the Gathering multiverse. So uh yeah. Now we have Realm Breaker and the the plane of Zalfir, because you know how Zalfir was just some random island in Dominaria which that half exists, half doesn't exist, just phases out and stuff. Well, after the war and all the new Phyrexia stuff, Zalfir became its own plane. I'm not joking. Literally, Zalfir is a plane on its own. Now, Realmbreaker is basically a tree. It's the invasion tree. Uh, and and the the invasion tree, it's literally based on the structure of the world tree, except because the world tree has its own portals that literally uh can enter other planes. Uh as part of the cosmos and stuff. But Realmbreaker, it also uses the same structure, which is how the Phyrexians are able to travel between the dimensions and and invade the other planes. Literally, this connects all the other planes, and it's just it's just basically a more twisted, powerful version of the world tree, which uh the pirates use to invade other planes. But then but then uh but then Ren just just fuses with yeah, Ren, yeah, Ren, it would so the gate was just going to destroy the realm breaker with this filigree silence, uh but yeah, just but they decided not to do it because it could have actually ended the entire multiverse. So uh so yeah, it's just and yeah, of course, Ren views of Realmbreaker. Like he is now uh Ren's host, which then became 8. How how Ren, she just possesses like different trees and stuff because she's a dryad. Well, Ren and Sitz was like, well, Sitz was like the sixth one, or sixth, and we just this is one we started off with because she existed earlier, but I mean, it started with Sitz, then it became 7, and Realmbreaker was her 8th. So in the card, it's actually Ren and Realmbreaker, but in the lore, she's actually Ren and 8, and Realmbreaker's actually a he because Ren just refers to the Realmbreaker as a he. Like, I'm not actually joking. It's just part of the lore. But yeah, that basically sums up the cosmology for now. Hopefully soon, like in September, it release like another set and like more lore that may expand on the cosmology. So yeah, then the next podcast it's just gonna be lore about individual characters and the March of the Machine lore as well. Just because why not? I never actually did that in channel, so yeah, I could just talk about the March of the Machine lore from the MTG story website. But anyways, congratulations, you've reached the end of the podcast. So why don't you like and subscribe and follow if you enjoy. Share friends, stay tuned for video streams and podcasts. Podcasts will be live every Tuesday. It's 4:30 GMT. So stay tuned to them. Watch my other videos too. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And bye.